Hello, and thank you for joining us here at Cancer Be Gone Speaker Series. My name is Shona Williams, and I am the host of the show and the founder of the series. Here we are talking about how to renew, restore, re-energize your body systems so that your body can do what it was designed to do, to fight for itself. I have organized a wonderful and dynamic set of speakers, a team that is ready to help you on your journey. Through their experiences and through their education, they can have the information to share with you so that you can be more successful on your journey to healing. Here, I am very, very proud to welcome Dr. Cervantes. He has very graciously given us his time today to speak with us. Dr. Cervantes, hello, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for inviting me to talk. It's a pleasure and an honor to speak to your beautiful audience.
Absolutely. And Dr. Cervantes, if you would allow me just a moment to introduce you to the audience and give them a little bit on your background. I'm going to read it for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Pedro Cervantes Macheto received his medical degree from Universidad Autónoma de Guadalajara in 1987 and completed his residency at Tijuana's prestigious Hospital de Prado. He then practiced sports medicine at Atlantis de Guadalajara from 1990 to 1992. From 1992 to 2000, Dr. Cervantes was part of the surgical team of his father, Dr. Pedro Cervantes Ochoa, performing cardiovascular and laparoscopy procedures. During that time, he also served for 2 years as a general practitioner on the set of the blockbuster film, The Titanic.
Whoa.
In 2000, Dr. Cervantes began his medical training for the Gerson Therapy under leading Gerson physicians. Upon completing his training, Dr. Cervantes joined a general practitioner at Health Institute de Tijuana, one of 2 Gerson clinics in the world licensed by the Gerson Institute. Health Institute and Gerson Institute, bless you, have been partners for more than 20 years, working together to impact health outcomes. The Gerson Institute's education team provides services for application intake, patient education, patient support, and follow-up. Now, Dr. Cervantes is now the leading treating physician at Health Institute de Tijuana, where his years of expertise and compassion have made him an essential and vital component to his team. Welcome, Dr. Cervantes. That is very impressive background, very impressive indeed.
Thank you. It took some time, but it's something that we have to go through life, and I feel very, very lucky that my father helped me begin this road, and I've met so many important people in science and medicine. And one of the reasons I do what I do is because I met Mrs. Gerson. I started to come to the clinic. When I first met her, I was very surprised about her energy and her strength and her science and all her knowledge. So I learned a lot from her, and that's the reason I probably stayed, because I started to see how the patients were improving following the Gerson nutritional protocol, following a lacto-vegetarian diet with no salt. And I started to see the improvements of the changes and the changes in the patients. So I decided, I think I found my niche. I found something I can embrace, that I can do and love. And because of my history, my background of being in surgery, I always told my father, I pray I don't have to do surgery and just do a nutritional therapy for patients to prevent disease. And that road brought me to Gerson, and more than prevent. Here in Gerson, we treat all types of patients. So that was the biggest reason that I do what I do. Because I always remember when I was a child and saw cancer patients, they were always not treated correctly, or not treated, given enough time or day, and not treated with dignity. So I felt like there was a void there. So I think I could try to fill and help the patients. That I first saw were cancer patients, but now more and more I'm seeing chronic degenerative patients, patients with autoimmune, patients with metabolic diseases, with hypertension, diabetes, obesity, cholesterol, fatty livers. It's a long list of diseases that the humans are going through right now. So because I see that boiler importance, lack of information on nutrition or well-being, that's kept me here, because I think I'm making a big influence in that life. So many of the companions that come with their family members with cancer, but we're also receiving many patients without cancer. And that's something I want to push more, because the world is not just cancer. There's so many important diseases in this planet that we have to address. And I think with these interviews, I think we can get the ball rolling for more people to be interested in their lifestyle and their diet and their well-being. So they can, like you said, so they can be more happier, more prosperous, and more productive people. It's very hard for somebody taking so many medications during their life. It's rather we go the natural route like Hippocrates and follow a healthy way of life.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So, Doctor, could you give us a little bit more about your background, your family history, perhaps what has inspired you to do what you do? Was there any impact that?
There was an incident in my family that's really impacted everybody in the family. My mother in the 60s, they invented a medication called thalidomide that was used in pregnancy when people had nausea or headaches. It was still an experimental drug in those days, and many people, many moms and children, suffer congenital defects because of that medication, thalidomide. So my mother took it. My father brought the medication because it was free, and they gave it to my mom. I brought this new medication, and she tried it. And my sister was born without ears and without the jaw. And many children in Europe and all over the world were born without arms or legs. So I asked myself, how can the industry, how can my father, being a doctor to this day, he felt very bad about that. How is it possible they sell, they distribute, they prescribe medications that have such a severe toxic effect in humans? So that alerted me and said, I want to study medicine, because this should not happen again. So that's what really caught me. Having my sister born that way, I said, I'm going to study medicine. My father does it, and I'm going to try to do it the best I can, because of the side effects of medications, really.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you so much for sharing that very important piece of information. So when we look at a holistic approach to healing, or even to prevention of chronic diseases and illnesses, why is that holistic approach so important?
It's so important, a holistic approach to medications, because I think that industry and doctors and abuse the use of medications, pain medications, antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, steroids, chemotherapy, and many humans have suffered tremendous side effects of these medications. The problem I have, I guess, with the conventional establishment is sometimes they treat symptoms instead of treating or analyzing what's the cause of the disease, the background, the history of the disease. So at the end of the day, you see many humans, or Americans, or humans on this planet, probably taking too much medications, probably taking too much pain medication, probably putting their kidney and liver in jeopardy, because all these medications have side effects, and they got to go through the liver, through the kidneys. So the toxicity of these medications is severe on the body. So we look at a holistic approach by using supplements like herbs, or changing our diet and eliminating the salt or preservatives of foods in a can or box. We will be in a much better place. So I invite all the planet, if they can, to follow an organic, vegetarian protocol or nutritional diet. Yes, some will probably say we need some animal protein, but that's another subject that we'll talk later. But talking about that question about a holistic approach, I think in herbs, plants, and foods, we can find our medicine. If we do it correctly, Dr. Max Gerson found this also. The Greeks found it, so it has a long, ancient history of eating the right foods. And I believe now it's more difficult to follow a healthy nutritional way of life. So because there's so many things out there that we are, some of us are being have nutritional or biological addictions for some carbohydrates or some sugar. So there's a lot of problems out there and caused by the food industry that I always tell my patients or everybody, we should not be eating foods from a can or a box. We should eat foods that are local, that are fresh and organic. So that's very important that we change the way we think about medicine and try to approach a holistic approach by taking vitamins, minerals, eating healthy, taking some herbs, and follow the Gerson program. The Gerson program is for everybody. We all have to detoxify every day. That's why we go to the bathroom. But if we do the Gerson program and follow the nutritional protocol, many of the patients will start to see the changes, and they see it in the skin, their hair, their nails. And many of the patients, well, their inflammation, that's one of their biggest problems they have, will start to diminish or disappear just by eliminating some important products or foods. For example, dairy products. They're very toxic, some of these dairy products, especially because in the industry uses hormones, steroids, and antibiotics. They're also using, nowadays, I understand, they're also using antibiotics in plants, in agriculture. So many of our food industry is being affected. So that's why we gotta try and eat a very healthy, balanced diet and try to eat organic and try to eat our vegetables, our grains, and stay away from so much from the fat foods or the animal protein that causes tremendous problems in our health and our bodies.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so I'm glad that you do mention eating more fresh fruits and vegetables and trying to go organic as possible. I have a garden myself, so I spend a lot of time in my garden.
Like
And
Mrs. Obama said was, I want to have my organic garden. And they jumped on her like a bone in a dog or a dog on a bone just by saying that little word. What's wrong with having an organic garden? But there's some things for something, they touch nerves, like the food industry or the meat industry, the cow, the egg, the dairy industry. If you say something like Oprah once said, something she said about the meat of Texas, I don't remember, but I remember Dr. Phil helped her out with that. And it was incredible how they were attacking her just because Oprah mentioned about something about the burger or red meat, and they really attacked her. She had to defend herself with everything she got. So it's very difficult. I know, because the temptation of these foods are everywhere. You see a donut shop in every corner, or a Starbucks, or a Kentucky Fried or McDonald's. All these bad foods, they're all over the place. But we always have the choice to make the correct choice. We have the power, we have the wisdom, and we should have the willpower to eat. And once we start eating the way we should be eating, it becomes a good natural habit. So we got to construct building blocks in our patients, building blocks of nutrition, building blocks of the things they should be eating. And with all that construction, and they create a good eating habit, it's very difficult to go back to the wrong foods. But it's a daily job, a daily homework to not follow the wagon and keep on eating the healthy foods.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you do mention that, because in Dr. Gerson's book, I have here Dr. Gerson's book, A Cancer Therapy. Okay, I want to hold it up so that the audience can read.
Cases in that blue book, which is for some people, they're not into medicine or doctors or nurses, and so it might be difficult to read. But
yeah,
that's his first book. He started with his cases. So there's other books much easier to read. There's lots of literature and movies and videos of cooking and juicing and of Gerson.
Yeah, so this is this book here. It mentions several different case studies. There are case studies, 50 of them, 50 over 30 years. And so when you take case studies and you go over a certain amount of years to follow those patients, you know, that's very key, you know, because not only are you going to
the follow-up.
Yeah, so this is a really good book to pick up. It's called A Cancer Therapy, and it's Max Gerson, MD.
Beautiful.
So this is a very good book to pick up. And then when you talk about, you know, good, clean, healthy eating, there's also a cookbook.
There's a great cookbook. Beautiful.
Yeah. So could you tell us a little bit about what your programs look like there at the Health Institute?
The Health Institute here in Tijuana, well, our protocols depending on each person, age, sex, disease. We will make their program, but let's say an average schedule or average program that many patients can do and can help many diseases would be like, for example, so a patient to drink 6 juices, to do 2 coffee enemas per day, take a variety of supplements like pancreatine that helps their digestion, inflammation, inflazine, other important digestive enzymes, selenium, another important mineral that we give to the patients, of course, vitamin C, orally and intravenously. A lot of our juices, carrot juices and green juice are also very rich in minerals and enzymes and vitamin C. And sometimes we give the patients intravenous vitamin C, or sometimes we also give the oral vitamin C in capsules, 1,000 milligrams, one with each meal. We also give the patients vitamin D3 when it's required. Many of the patients have a very low levels of vitamin D3, and we've seen in many studies that many of the cancer patients have their immune systems affected, and their levels of vitamin D are low. So I guess I'm saying there that many humans are not getting enough sun or the right nutrition. The vitamin D is very important for their bone structure and for their immune system. We also give them supplements like CoQ10 to help their circulation, to help their heart disease, to help the patient recover post-chemotherapy, because many chemotherapy patients go through neuropathy or polyneuropathy. Their hands and their feet are very tender, very sensitive, and painful. So we give also, sometimes we give the patients liver capsules or a liver and B12 injection to help get a liver support or help their anemia or production of red blood cells. We give sometimes the patients curcumin. Curcumin is used a lot in India, Ayurvedic medicine, to help pain, inflammation, fight cancer. We also give the patients glutathione, a very important amino acid, an important antioxidant. We give the patients orally, and I'm trying to get it intravenous so we can also give it with the vitamin C. So yes, we're giving many important supplements. Another one is colostrum, mother's first milk. It's a great immune booster that we give to the patients. So yes, there's quite a few important supplements, depending on each case, that we give to the patients. And the coffee enemas, I always say they're the jewel of the therapy, because the coffee enemas cleans our liver, our colon like no other. But the other thing that sometimes we forget to say, that it's a very important immune booster. Because when we're doing our coffee enema and we're holding the coffee to get to our hepatic gland, to the portal system, it will help our hepatic gland, our liver, to produce 600 to 700 times the normal amount of glutathione that the human produces. As you know, the humans have very good defense systems. One of their defense systems is their inorganic antioxidant production. Our body has the capacity to protect itself. It's the capacity to produce antioxidants like glutathione. So that's why I always have said, and I told Mrs. Gerson, she loved what I said, that the coffee enemas are the jewel, not of the Nile, the jewel of the therapy. Because the enemas helps us clean our body so well. It also gives us energy. The coffee is also considered a very important antioxidant. Many of the patients after our coffee enema, they say they feel refreshed, full of energy. But they also say that their mind is more clear. So their sludge or their toxicity post-chemo starts to disappear. Many of the patients have chemo brains when they come to the clinic. So the key, and many people, even the ones that never received chemotherapy, were in contact with many chemicals in their lifetime. There's hair products, there's beauty products, there's makeups. There's things we use in our lives every day that we don't think it's bad or toxic, and there is. So there is also such thing as industrial toxicity or just toxicity or eating the wrong foods, these high sugar foods or high fat foods. So the Gerson therapy, one of our biggest goals is to change the way they eat and think and live. It's not easy because many of us, the patients come here at 40 years, 50 years, 60, they're very set in their ways. So it's an important step they take to change the way they live. And believe me, it's hard. My father, when he was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, Dad, I'm going to start eating this. He said, what? You're going to take away my Coca-Cola? You're going to take away my salt? Yes, Dad. It's time. You had enough Coca-Cola to serve an army. Okay. And so he slowly started to do the changes. And he said to me, you were right. I cannot believe it, but you were right. So many of us, we have these habits that have been in our DNA for so many years or decades that it's hard to change. But if you explain to people why we're changing, what are our goals, and they start seeing that as they do the therapy, the protocol, the nutrition, they start changing the way they think and sleep and live, and they rethink everything of their lives. So it's a good, when we have disease, it's like giving us from the heavens another chance to get things right. So when we have a disease, an opportunity to rethink everything and look at our lives. And many of the people change their lives when they have a dramatic disease. And we shouldn't wait till we get a dramatic disease going to impact our lives and impact you or your family or your job. We should be a little more proactive. Why don't we never wait till our car runs out of gasoline? The same thing in our bodies. We shouldn't wait till they tell us or give us a diagnosis or a pathology test result. We should be always going forward. Humans always say they're always moving. They're moving stars. Are we getting better? Are we getting worse? Are we in the same place? And I'm a person that think we should all be thriving to be better, not stay in the same place or get worse. And humans in life, they tend not to do so well like they did when they were younger, and they start to fall into these bad habits or bad habits or customs. So that's important of changing your lifestyle or opening your eyes or your mind or your mouth to a better opportunity to eating healthy, energetic foods. Mm-hmm. Every time you eat a fat food or a high protein food, you feel it in your body. You feel it in your joints. You feel it in your digestive tract. That's probably why the reason there's so much digestive diseases nowadays, because everybody, most of the world out there, is eating the wrong foods or indulging in the wrong foods. And they always have like an excuse. So we should not be looking for those bad excuses. We should get excuses to eat the right foods, eat the right way, live the right way, the way it was really meant to be. I think somebody in the heavens put all those fruits and vegetables in this planet, not just for show, it was there for a reason. Because all these plants and vegetables, if they come from a healthy earth, will have all the minerals they need for life. And that's a very important thing. We need our minerals. And the only way, the best way to get them is to eat healthy, local, organic vegetables or grains or fruits, because their roots come from Mother Earth. And there's where all the vitamins and minerals we need for life. They're in the planet, they're in the earth. That's all we gotta do is be smart agricultural, smart pickers and pick the right foods. It sounds simple, but when you start doing it, you start scratching your head. Well, this is not gonna be so simple. And most things, important things in life are not simple or easy. We have to go for them. We got to go reach for them. For that apple over there, it's so far. I'm not going to go all the way. Yes, go for that apple. Grab that apple. Be the apple. Be the broccoli. Be the asparagus. Be the artichoke. If we follow a healthy way of life, we will be the person that we always dream about being. That goes, I'm sorry, I will say that smoking is one of the biggest addictions out there. I hope the world is starting to understand, and humans are smoking much a day. So let's put the smoking label on all the bad foods, on the canned foods. If you keep on eating this canned food, you will get cancer. If you keep eating your sugar foods, you will get cancer or disease or diabetes or high blood pressure. So humans they need sometimes labels to remind them. So why don't we just put a label in our heart or in our minds that the way everything was constructed for us to follow Mother Nature. When humans go the other road of not Mother Nature, we get in trouble. We sometimes try to outsmart ourselves, and it's very difficult. So all humans I invite to the table of the well-being of eating. Come to my table. You'll have all the food that you need, very good variation, and you'll be more stronger, energetic. I had Olympic athletes do the Gerson nutritional program. I had baseball players from the Kansas City Royals do the program, and they did well. So this program is for anybody or everybody that wants to change, have a positive change of their life, and make their systems more alkaline, because there's so many acid people, toxic people out there. I could go on and on, all the examples I see in the news every day, the things that shouldn't be happening. Mm-hmm. We have the control to change that.
Yes, and I'm very happy that you mentioned about being proactive. Okay, there is another side to this whole equation. It's related to our health and wellness, so that we can maintain a healthy lifestyle. And so when you talk about the family, when you talk about the family and the caregivers, this program is also geared toward the caregivers who might not have, you know,
they all have something. They all have something. And when you treat a person, you should also be treating the family. If the mother comes with the son or the father comes with the daughter, might as well pick your nose or just ask the father, I mean, how are you doing? And start treating the whole family, because you're not going to be cooking for different types of people in the family. You might as well join the family, be the family, and everybody eat together. In the old days, that's the way it used to be. Everyone would have breakfast together or lunch or dinner. Nowadays, the family's also going through a very chronic change where people are separate and everybody becoming islands. I think if we keep the family values are so important, and that trickles down to how we should eat. Our balance of nutrition should be around that table of healthy eating and living. But we must find time for us. We must have time to cook. We must have time to socialize, to talk with each other. We got to be more social, more helping each other, helping like a big family. Like that. The world should be a big family. We should all be working together for the same goals. And that's what I think, that at the end of the day, because I see all the people that eat here in the clinic or continue eating nutritional programs, they are a much happier person. They're less violent. They accept changes much easier versus people that are eating toxic foods. And they're more angry, they're more violent. In the United States, sometimes I see so many people that just change lanes and they give you a finger or two. It's like, why? What's so? And they're so more aggressive. And I see that more, that society that eat more animal fat or animal protein are more violent societies. That's what I've seen a lot.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that. And Dr. Cervantes, I want to ask you about the best foods possible to eat for because you have a protocol that you go by, but when we go away from your clinic, when we go away from the hospital, when we go away and go home, what should we be doing? How should we be eating? Should we carry the same modality along with us?
All the patients are humans that come through this door and start doing the Gerson nutritional protocol. I ask them, I implore them, I explain to them the importance of doing this nutritional way of life. And most of the patients that come here, they get it, some don't. But they're going to follow because of the family member. I'm going to do the program with you because I love you and I want to do it with you. Maybe they do that at the beginning, but at the second or third month, they start to like it. So many of the people that come here, they take the challenge, the commitment, and they come and they see the changes. And that's why they probably stay on the program and eat all these healthy foods, these carrots, these potatoes, these green salads, the oatmeal, the juices, all the variation of vegetables and fruits that we have. And when I ask them, would you go back to eating your other foods that you used to eat? Doctor, I've been there. I will never go back there. I'm doing this for my family, for my children. I wish they would say they're doing it for themselves, but sometimes they got to find an excuse, and they do find it because we always need to find something that we can grab and do it for that reason. But I wanted to do it for themselves. And many of the people that come here on the first week, they see the changes. And one change that they see a lot and probably keeps on the therapy is their skin, their hair, their nails, their face. It looks younger after 1 week. After 1 month, they even forget the makeup. So they start to see a lot of visible changes in the first week or 2 or 3 or 4. And when somebody tells them, hey, you never looked so young in your life, what are you doing? You had plastic surgery? No, I'm eating healthy. And for that, many people say, eating healthy, what a concept. Like we're discovering the wheel. So many people, when they start doing this program, this protocol, they see the change in the patient, in themselves, and the whole family. So they stay on it. And they start recommending to other people, what are you doing? You look so good. You lost some weight. Just eliminating those foods, those bad foods, those salt foods, those grease foods, those sugar foods, humans start losing weight or looking beautiful. So just eliminating what I don't need and give me what I need, and humans change a lot. And most humans, when they see the change, they stay on it. Once in a while, tell, well, it'll be Christmas or Thanksgiving or your birthday. If you want to have one of those foods that you used to like a lot, go ahead and have it. It's going to be only once a year or twice a year. And some of the patients even tell me, "Oh, doctor, I didn't even care for that food anymore, this or that. The other day I had it and even didn't like it anymore." Probably because his body was rejecting it. That could happen to many of the patients. If they go back to eat their French fries, they can get nauseous and sick and lose it right there because their body has rejected it already. So I think if the people give the therapy, the nutritional protocol a chance, they will experience it. They'll see the changes. Another example, or the other way you can look at things, there was a movie done by McDonald's, Super Size Me. The guy had 30 days of eating the wrong foods. The guy almost died in 1 month of eating those foods. He had a fatty liver, his blood pressure, he gained weight, and I remember he was having also chest pains. So those foods, first, we gotta stay away from, I call the junk food. We are so valuable human beings that we should really, really take care of each other like we should. And I invite everybody out there to analyze. Just open your refrigerator. Show me your list, your supermarket list. What are you eating? And you realize, do I really need to eat that? Do I really need to eat this or drink that? And you start to analyze, what do you really want in life? How long I want to live healthy? I got many things to do, many books to read, places to go. So I think the more we take care of ourselves and look ourselves in the mirror, the more we will be where we have to be. And there's a beautiful, healthy person in every one of us. We all have happy cells. We have healthy cells. We gotta just help them do their job by controlling our biochemistry, our physiology, and sleeping. Most Americans or humans do not sleep enough or rest enough. So those are the things I think I tend to touch.
So when you talk about toxicity in the system and the Gerson therapy, and what this does for cancer patients and those who are trying to avoid cancer or trying to avoid contracting this disease,
yeah,
right? So what do you think about sugar and sugar substitutes? Because a lot of us do like our Coca-Cola, and our sugar. So what do we do about the substitutes?
I guess we can get our sugars from more healthier places than Coca-Cola. I don't think humans were made to drink Coca-Cola. I don't know how that thing started, but I think we should try to teach a little, or tell the patients or the humans that one of our biggest things we got to prevent is obesity or diabetes or high blood pressure, and control our calorie intake. If we abuse empty calories or bad sugars or sweeten low or get other artificial sweeteners, we will be losing the boat. We can get our sugars. We have to maintain a good balance between our carbohydrates, our lipids, our fats, our proteins. And there's also a choice of good fats and bad fats. It's the same thing for sugars. The best sugar for all humans, I guess, if we think about it, would be honey. Always, even the honey, if I abuse it, it's going to be too much sugar, or brown sugar, or molasses. But or the fruit, or the sugar, or the fructose found in fruit. If we control that and eat that in a good balance, we should not have any trouble. If somebody eats 20 bananas a day because they love bananas, they heard bananas are very healthy and they give you lots of potassium, that patient will get diabetes and obesity. So even healthy sugar, we have to have a balance. For example, I tell the patients to have 1 tablespoon a day, the whole day, of honey or brown sugar. But on the other day, some patients even tell me, I don't even need the honey, doctor. Well, you can use some applesauce or use the fruit on top of your oatmeal. So all patients, all humans have to remember they cannot abuse fats. They cannot abuse proteins. They cannot abuse sugars. Even the people who are eating animal protein 3 times a day, that's too much. That's a lot on their kidneys. That's a lot of protein for their bodies, for their heart, for their cholesterol, for their liver. And some people really abuse the protein and the sugar and the fats. And many people go to 7-Eleven and drink these soda pops or these giant Slurpees, those giant drinks, and they're abusing it. So everything has to be with moderation and well thought.
So when we
like Coca-Cola?
the alternative sugar, when we talk about alternative sugars, like
Alternative sugar, like I said, I would tell the patients to use brown sugar or natural honey or molasses or dried fruit or use applesauce. Those are the sugars we usually use, the natural sugars we use. We stay away, of course, of the refined sugar, the white sugar. I even say, I have a saying, I say, just limit the four whites: the dairies, cheese, the milk, the salt, the sugar, and the white bread. If you limit those four whites, wow, you accomplish a lot. And many humans indulge in those foods or eat too much gluten or eat too many intolerant things. As a matter of fact, all humans are lactose intolerant. The only dairies they should probably eat is the mother's milk. But most humans, for some reason, they keep having their milk, their cheese, their butter for the rest of their lives until somebody tells them, yeah, you're eating too much dairy, there's too much fat there. So there are many things we gotta be approach and talk about besides sugar and fats and proteins. I thought.
yeah, so thank you so much for that. And doctor, could you also discuss, sorry for the background. I have some
Dog
notes.
must be hungry. His sugar levels must be coming down.
So I wanted you to talk a little bit about vitamin C and how important you talked about the vitamin D. Could you also
Vitamin
talk
C
to
is
us
very
about the
important.
vitamin C?
Ascorbic acid is very important. Linus Pauling got a Nobel Prize on talking and discovering all the benefits of vitamin C. The benefits that are found in many of our fruits and many of our foods. It's very important because vitamin C is a very important